Season has arrived in the Big Ten, and we come to you tonight from Pinnacle Bank Arena in Lincoln, Nebraska, to continue our doubleheader on BTN with the 12th-ranked Iowa Hawkeyes and the Nebraska Cornhuskers. With Bobby Kelsey, Mike Monaco on hand, and let's check out the top of the Big Ten. Iowa, of course, knocked off Maryland 8 days ago, but the Hawkeyes fell to Indiana on Thursday, and Maryland just beat Purdue to clinch at least a share of the Big Ten regular season title tonight. So, time now for tonight's starting lineups, and for Iowa, Kathleen Doyle was very good in that game against Indiana on Thursday, and she, of course, initially signed with Nebraska.
Well, she did sign with Nebraska, but Iowa's very happy that she decided to become a Hawkeye. Kathleen Doyle is a playmaker for Iowa. She averages 6 assists a game, so they depend on her to get the ball where it needs to be at the right time to the right player to get the right shot to help Iowa win basketball games.
Nebraska has its hands full with Megan Gustafson. You got to look at Kate Kane. She's one of the best shot blockers in the conference.
Yeah, she's a rim protector. She had 7 blocks against Michigan State, so she's looking to use her strength and size to neutralize Gustafson in the paint.
So we are ready to go. The final week of this regular season. Iowa in second in the Big Ten at 12-4. Nebraska playing perhaps its best basketball of the season. 8-8 in the Big Ten. There are a range of possible outcomes for the Huskers in the conference standings.
Well, that's what makes it so exciting, because anybody can win on any given night at any time. So every game matters.
Here's Doyle, the junior guard who initially signed to play here for Connie Gorey, and she sets up Megan Gustafson, and we're going to hear a lot of that tonight.
Absolutely. If Megan Gustafson can figure out how to make that shot more often, she'll even be a more potent player, which is hard to believe because of her production right now.
Leah Brown, the freshman for the Huskers, leaves the jump shot short, and Iowa loves to get out and run. Amy Williams told us today, transition defense is going to be a massive key.
Absolutely. She talked about that sideline break. Iowa loves to push that ball up the sideline so that they can then make that pass right into Gustafson for her to make it easy.
They go up the sideline, and Nicaea Eliley gets the block on Mackenzie Meyer. Lisa Bluter, the longtime head coach at Iowa, said there was a great deal of disappointment after that loss at Indiana on Thursday, but her team has come in focused tonight trying to take care of these last couple regular season games.
And she even mentioned that she didn't coach very well, which is, it says a lot about her and her leadership. But they know how to win. They know how to get back on track, and they're going to probably try to get some of those mistakes corrected tonight.
Doyle missed the jump shot. Here's Hannah Whitish, who's been playing much better as this conference season's gone on.
She's really upped her production. I know in the non-conference she started out like about 8 points a game, but she's really picked up her pace to average about 14 points a game, which her team really needs. They look to her to make a lot of these scoring decisions for their team.
Leah Brown with the shot clock winding down, left it short. There's some confusion with her and Kate Kane on the ball screen.
And see, right there, you talk about that sideline break. If you don't get back and cover Gustafson, and that first pass from the point guard inbounder to the next, it's hard to stop that. They do a great job of that.
Whitish too strong. Is it easy to lose sight of a post player running the floor when you're talking about a press break as Doyle coughs it up? Whitish bounces off for Eliley for 2.
Nice finish. It is, because you're so busy trying to stop the ball, you forget that Gustafson is right. How can you forget her? But people lose track of her because the ball is just whipping, and when you look up, she has it and she's scoring.
Amy Williams told us today that they're going to extend some pressure against Iowa.
There's another block right there. Absolutely. And they have to do that. Otherwise, they're not going to have a chance against this potent Iowa offense who can score in a number of different ways.
Like any head coach, Amy Williams found a couple things to be unhappy about with the last couple games. Michigan State here at home, at Northwestern on Thursday, but she said by and large, except for some spells in those fourth quarters, she really loved what her team did. They've got a chance tonight to get back to the 500 mark overall.
Well, she is right to have some of those little inks about what they did because they're capable of much more, and I know that they are fighting and scrapping and clawing, trying to get these wins. And she's happy with her group, but as any coach, you want perfection. You do. And I think the kids appreciate the fact that she has a high expectation of what they are capable of.
There's Taylor Kissinger, a sophomore, an excellent shooter. Drives it this time and miss.
See that right there? They're trying to stop that sideline break, and they have to get on that first pass in, because if they don't, Iowa is so astute at getting that ball to the next one and right into Gustafson.
Whitish forced it on Doyle, and that's 3 Iowa turnovers so far in 3 minutes of action.
Well, they were talking about that in shoot-around, again, trying to get on that first pass inbound so that they can stop that break, because that transition defense is going to be very important.
Kate Kane walks with it and gives it right back.
I think Iowa has to play a little hangry, as they say, a little hungry and a little angry.
Doyle.
She likes
the floater.
She likes that floater. That's her shot. That's her go-to when she needs to get in that paint.
Meyer picks off the pass.
That's a nice anticipation by Meyer. Too bad she couldn't finish the shot right there.
Yeah, Kayla Mershon blocked the shot. And then Meyer bumps Eli and picks up her first foul. Here's that floater you love from Kathleen Doyle.
Absolutely. And sometimes the traditional pull-up is not there. A lot of the millennials, they love to get those floaters, but then Meyer's like, wait a minute, I gotta clean it up. I gotta come back with something here. And she made sure that she didn't allow that shot to get up on the glass.
It's a 5-point Hawkeyes lead so far. They got out to a fast start at Indiana on Thursday as well.
And they're going to need to match the scoring that Iowa puts up at 82 points per game. Another block.
Civilian couldn't get it cleanly by Whitish after another Nebraska turnover. Whitish, high off the window, no. And it will stay at this end of the floor.
Yeah, Whitish was looking for the foul right there. I think she thought that maybe she could draw some contact, but the refs didn't agree with her on that one.
This is Sam Ivey, the freshman from Minnesota, one of the top scorers who comes off the bench.
And Iowa wants to make sure they're guarding the three-point line, because they know Nebraska is a very good three-point shooting team, so they're going to have to keep them off that line.
Ivey with the shot clock winding down, couldn't score around Meyer, and the Hawkeyes want to push. Extra pass, Doyle. Too strong. Kane working on Gustafson with the hook shot for her first 2.
That's a nice play by Kane. She took her time, got deep, and took her shot. And if she can get a little bit more of that, that'll be helpful for Nebraska tonight.
Kane was quiet in the first meeting between these teams, which was at the beginning of January. Kane only had 3 points, and she fouled out in 18 minutes of game action.
Well, I know she's probably not happy with that performance, so she's looking to get out and really make an impact for her team today.
Kissinger is a 44% three-point shooter. You said it, Nebraska shoots the three well, 36%, near the top of the Big Ten. Gustafson, after a miss, she's got an early 6.
Well, she did a great job initially stopping that quick turn over that right shoulder by Gustafson. That's her go-to shot, but you got to box out. You got to get that rebound so you can get an opportunity to get another shot out.
Ivy scoops it in on the offensive glass. Oh, Kissinger bumps Doyle hard, and Doyle took a lot of hard hits like that against the Hoosiers on Thursday. 9-9 our score and a fast-paced start. Megan Gustafson with 6. Iowa squaring off against Nebraska at 9-9 the score early on as we say hello. And thanks for joining us tonight in Lincoln with the coach, Bobby Kelsey, Mike Monaco on hand. And for Iowa, what a range of emotions in the past week. You get a huge win over Maryland, but then you go and you fall at Indiana on Thursday.
Yes, Coach Bluter talked about that in the shoot-around, that they just did not carry over from the first half when they were supposed to do in the second half to get that win. She talked about the fact that they didn't guard the three-point line very well and that they needed to box out better and just do a better job all around of keeping leads and protecting leads, because they did have a 16-point lead that game.
Yeah, and it came down to the end because Benduyeni hit the floater to put Indiana up, and then Benduyeni got a piece of the three, which would have been a game winner had it gone for Tania Davis, who had tied the game a couple possessions earlier.
Absolutely. She hit a big three, and she likes those big-time moments and hitting those big-time shots, and they depend on her to do that.
And again, if you joined us late, Maryland won tonight on the road at Mackey Arena against Purdue to lock up at least a share of the Big Ten regular season title.
And Iowa kind of missed a golden opportunity with that loss. Not that we know what would have happened that day, but they needed to really take care of business against Indiana to at least have a chance at the tie for the Big Ten regular season.
Austin Verbeek on the drive, scores with the left hand around Gustafson. And then Iowa gets a bit too greedy in transition, and Tania Davis threw it away, searching for Lexi Civilian.
And even if she had caught that ball, Nebraska was right there on the catch to make sure that they just didn't have a clean look to any streaking players at the basket.
So far, I'd say the transition defense for Nebraska has been very good.
Absolutely. And they were, Coach Williams was adamant about them making sure that they were on top of that part of the game.
Ivy again scoops it up with the left hand on that left side.
That was fancy stuff right there.
Lisa Bluter pointed her out today as one of the weapons that she's quite concerned about. And another turnover already for Iowa, and that's 5.
Well, here she's trying to probe and really get in there. That's a tough finish with her left hand, but they need more of that in order to have that defense shrink in, and then that's when you get your threes going, when you can kick it out on penetration and dishing out.
That's a drive from Maddie Simon, the Lincoln native, who is the only senior on this senior night for Nebraska.
And we talked to her at shoot-around, too. She got a little misty-eyed when she was talking about her time here at Nebraska and just the ups and downs, the highs and lows, the goods and bads, coaching change, position change. But Coach Williams speaks so highly of her maturity, her unselfishness, her selflessness. She couldn't have said more great things about Maddie Simon, and they're going to really miss her leadership all the way around, just not on the court, but off the court as well.
She's been playing really well recently, and Amy Williams called Maddie Simon on the phone and said, hey, we're going to give you the start on senior day. And Maddie Simon was starting earlier this season. She's now been coming off the bench, the only senior on the team, and she said, Coach, I want to keep coming off the bench because we're clicking right now. We've had back-to-back big wins, and I don't want to mess with anything for the team.
And that just says a lot about her, because the offer was made for her to start, and to her credit, she felt like the team would be better if they kept doing what they're doing right now, which is her coming off the bench, adding that spark and that leadership that they need, maybe somewhat into the game, not at the start of the game. So I think that says a lot about her as a senior, as a leader, as someone they look to give them the intangibles, things that's not necessarily on the box score.
After the held ball, Eilily trying to weave through the key. And here come the Hawkeyes down by 4.
And there's Stewart trying to get that deep post position. I think they missed her. I think she was open there for a second.
Ivy. Doyle is so pesky with those hands. Stewart helped pick it off.
And she has a knack for getting her hands on those basketballs all the time.
Meyer got it. First triple for Iowa tonight.
Meyer's been a nice spark, too. She's been playing really steady and solid for the Iowa Hawkeyes as well.
1 minute remaining in the first quarter.
Verbeek, never gun shy. She's fired up. Doyle deflected it to herself. Blocked on the reverse.
Oh, no.
Doyle in a load of pain. Eilily back the other way. Hybe. Around and out. Simon on the offensive glass with Doyle climbing to her feet.
Looked like Doyle grabbed her knee. I hope nothing's too serious right there. She did get up, though.
Checking in for Iowa, number 43, Amanda Hollinger.
She's a tough kid. She's a really tough girl.
Let's have another look as she checks out.
looked like she just fell on it. I don't know if anything.
Right there, I think, on the plants in the restricted arc with the right leg. And she grabbed it as she did fall down.
What a good news, she got up.
Absolutely.
That's a good sign.
It's about a 3-second difference between game and shot clocks. Brown. Off the flare, it wasn't there. 3 to shoot.
Gotta get a shot up.
Whitish has to bail him out. In and out. Stewart the rebound. Meyer does not get it off in time. And that's the end of an eventful first quarter here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Senior night for the Huskers. They're up by 4 at home. Nebraska leads Iowa by 4 at the end of the first quarter here in Lincoln. Well, certainly our thoughts and those of many around the Big Ten are with C. Vivian Stringer and her family. It was announced yesterday that Timothy Eatman's going to take over things on an interim basis, and they did say that C. Vivian Stringer is expected to return to the sidelines following the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, it's we don't want to speculate or guess as to what that medical leave entails, but we just hoping and wishing and praying, if you're a praying person, that Coach Stringer is back on the sideline soon, and her scheduled return is after the Big Ten tournament. So we're just going to wait and see and hope that she's okay.
Well, her team right now is putting the finishing touches on a 20-point, perhaps a little bit more or less, win over Wisconsin at home. And Lisa Bluter, who of course knows what it's like to be a head coach at Iowa, much like C. Vivian Stringer, she said today to us that she thinks of Coach Stringer, and good for her knowing that if she needs something, to just take care of herself.
Absolutely, and that's the bottom line. Our health and our well-being is before basketball, and it'll be after basketball. And if she needs that and she knows what's best for her, we all support her in that.
Simon tried to catch it in one motion on the feed from Hannah Whitish, perhaps a bit eager on her senior night.
Yeah, I didn't think she needed to do that. If she just had come down and taken her time, I think she was wide open right there. But you try to get a tip sometimes, you know, if you think you got something there.
Saw that Iowa's been limited to 5 of 15 shooting from the floor so far for an offense that is the best in the country in field goal percentage.
Well, they absolutely are taking away those transition points, and that's a big part of Iowa's scoring and making them run a half-court offense. Now they can't do that, which is not get loose balls and let Megan Gustafson go over that right shoulder with her left hand, because that's pretty much automatic. There's a reason she's shooting 70% from the field.
She's got 8 points and 4 rebounds, and she followed up the Kathleen Doyle miss. It is great to see 22 in the black and gold back out there to begin this quarter.
Absolutely. We don't want to see anybody get hurt.
Whitish missed it on the step through, and Davis pushes. Simon trying to defend Gustafson.
She's looking for that high-low pass, but they're not allowing it.
Kick out from Doyle to Davis for 3.
You can't give Davis a lot of time. She will knock that shot down. She's used to it in pressure situations, so that open shot like that is something that she's really adept at doing.
First foul on Kathleen Doyle. That'll send Leah Brown to the free throw line.
See, Megan she understands that her teammates may shoot that ball, and then she gets the position here, and they need to box her out a little bit better than that, because she's like a hound. She's after that ball every chance she gets.
You've recruited Megan Gustafson. You have watched a lot of her over the last few years. How do you try to just limit what she can do on the court?
Well, the best and easiest way is for her to get in foul trouble. If she's not in the game, I don't think anyone's ever scored from the bench, as far as I know. But if she's in the game, you're going to have to double and triple team her. You can't leave her one-on-one. Indiana did a great job of bringing different people from different spots at different times. On the catch, on the turn, on the dribble. They mixed it up, and I think Megan had some frustration fouls in that game, actually, because she was in foul trouble. Didn't foul out, but she was in foul trouble and had to sit for a little bit of that fourth quarter.
She comes up to set a ball screen for Doyle. 2 seconds. Doyle ahead of the horn. Rebound, Simon.
And that's what Nebraska wants. They want them to take contested pull-ups, no touch for Megan Gustafson, and a box out and a ball security, and on the way down the floor for them to try to run their offense and score.
Kissinger slipped through on Meyer, but missed it wide right.
It's a little bit of a lid. This is this transition we were talking about.
There's Davis on the leak out from Meyer.
If it's not Gustafson, it's Davis. If it's not Davis, it's Doyle. If it's not Doyle, it's Stewart.
That's that supporting cast that Iowa has around Megan Gustafson.
Absolutely.
Iowa just did not bite on that up and under move again. Meyer.
Coach may have to get a timeout right here. That's 2. Oh, she's fired up. She's not happy about the transition defense, which she harped on in shoot-arounds.
This is Iowa getting out and running what they do best. They've extended the lead out to 5 on the road in Lincoln. Women's basketball on BTN is brought to you by State Farm. Here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today. We're at Pinnacle Bank Arena, and Iowa is on a 9-0 run to begin this second quarter. And it has a 5-point lead on Nebraska. We've seen all 5 starters score so far for the Hawkeyes. And we've, of course, talked about Megan Gustafson, but nice little group around her as well.
Absolutely. Their recipe for success is a whole lot of Gustafson, a healthy portion of Davis, Doyle, Stewart, and a pinch of Meyer and Civilian. And there you go.
And it's a mutually beneficial relationship, right? I mean, you have players that talented, that helps Megan Gustafson. You have Megan Gustafson, it helps everyone else around.
Absolutely. And there's Kate Kane with that hook again. But Megan Gustafson is a humble star. She gives a lot of credit to her teammates. In an interview recently, she shouted them out the whole time. And I think the supporting people really respect that. You know, here's somebody that's getting all the national awards, all the attention, and for her to give them credit and praise because she couldn't do what she does without their help.
Brown's turnaround rolls out, and Gustafson starts the fast break.
I'm sure Coach Williams addressed that transition defense in that timeout. She was not happy about that.
Yeah, that's one way to put it.
She was not pleased. That's the face my mother used to give me when I didn't sweep the floor or wash the dishes.
Bobby Kelsey, Mike Monaco, our entire BTN crew with you from Lincoln. Shot clock at 5. Edge from Gustafson. Hybe a 3. Yes!
They're getting deep in that shot clock. But that's a nice three-pointer by Hybe.
She has started to knock down more of them as the season's gone along.
And that's just another person to hit threes for Nebraska. They have a slew of people that can hit them.
Kane. Kayla Mershon on the offensive glass.
Leah Brown's been quiet. I haven't seen her take many shots tonight.
And no points from Brown nor Whitish, the top 2 scorers for Nebraska. Yet, you're Amy Williams. You're thrilled to still be within 2.
Oh, you're thrilled. And but for those transition buckets, you probably would be up by more right now.
Gustafson hauls in another rebound. That's her 8th already to go along with 10 points.
When you're the 4th leading rebounder in the country at 13 a game, you got to box her out.
She gets the bucket and the foul on Kate Kane. And that's exactly what Lisa Bluter said to us. She's going to pull Kate Kane away from the basket.
But on the flip side of that, Amy Williams again talked about not allowing Megan Gustafson to rise up, rip, and go left and finish. And her team right now is not shutting that down. That's a patent move for her as well. If she comes to that high post area, you must sit to your right, her left.
And she's already stepped out and taken some of those mid-range jump shots, so you have to get up on her.
But guess what? I would let her take a couple more. I mean, she doesn't take that shot very often. That's not something she really wants to do. She's capable of hitting it, but you know if she sweeps and drives going left, she's going to make that every single time.
Mershon has the size advantage on the 5'3" Tania Davis.
She's feisty in there, though. She's not allowing her to just get a free look.
Whitish Too strong. Gustafson got to the rebound. Doyle blazes up court and draws a foul. And if it's on Kane, it's foul number 2. Hey, subscribe to BTN Plus and gain access to great non-televised women's hoops games. Then enjoy them wherever you are. You can get BTN Plus available on BTN to go. And Iowa fans are certainly going to have their eye on BTN Plus Saturday. That's when Maryland plays against Illinois. Now, that is a home game for the Terps in college.
Absolutely. And they are...
Doyle deflects the pass.
They're excited after that win today against Purdue.
It was the second foul on Kate Kane, and so Gustafson and Doyle consecutively send Kate Kane to the bench with still 4 minutes to go in the second quarter.
That's going to hurt them a little bit because they need her size and strength against Megan Gustafson that we know can score in bunches.
Kissinger missed the triple, and here come the Hawkeyes, who have outscored Nebraska by 11 in this quarter.
And who are they looking for?
Gustafson on the block. She's up to 17.
That over that right shoulder, I keep saying it, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but they can't allow her that deep of position and then to go over that right shoulder. She loves that left block facing the basket.
Second three for Ashton Verbeek. So that's one way to supply a boost with Kane's sidelines.
And Lisa Bluter talked about getting Gustafson more touches because in that last game she didn't get many at all.
Doyle, that corner has not been kind to her. Verbeek rips it away from Olinger.
Whitish needs to get going here soon. She got to get going here. Offensive end.
Still scoreless on 0 of 5 shooting, and she's the top scorer for Nebraska.
I think she's got to be more aggressive. She's got to attack. I know she wants to run the offense, but she got to turn that corner and get in the paint. Those shots are not what Coach Williams probably wants her to do.
She deflects the pass, and it'll stay with Iowa. How's this for Megan Gustafson? She just gets in so deep.
Exactly. And when you have 2 feet in the paint right there, that's pretty much automatic. You can just put that in the box score already because when she gets 2 feet deep in the paint, on that left block, over that right shoulder, it's almost 100%.
You sometimes hear coaches talk about post players getting their work done early. That's what that is, right?
And she does. She uses her posterior, her derriere, so to speak, and you never see her flailing her arms. She's not elbowing people. I mean, she'll get a foul or 2 every now and again, but she does a nice job of timing her step in as well. Because you can step in, but if the pass is not ready to give you the ball, you work for nothing. And so she's really astute at doing that. And I know in the shoot-around, again, Coach Bluter emphasized post-passing today in their shoot-around, getting her touches early and often.
Gustafson's going to get a breather here with 2:14 left in the half. As Monica Sinano, the freshman, replaces her.
Well, she already has a double-double, so she might be allowed a little bit of a break.
The 81st of her career.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Davis stepped in front of the pass from Sam Hybe. When Nebraska has pushed it, Iowa's guards, they've been greedy on the sidelines, and they've got their hands in a lot of passing lanes.
And that's when you might want to do a backdoor cut. Because if they're going to jump out in that passing lane every time, you're going to have to hesitate, back cut them, and try to get some layups, then they're not so eager to get out in those passing lanes.
Nebraska led by 4 at the end of the first quarter, sitting on just 8 points in this second quarter. And there's a foul in the post called on Monica Sinano. This is the second team foul on Iowa. Boy, off the lob. Eiley is so long and athletic, but she couldn't get it to go.
And in order for Nebraska to get some more team fouls on Iowa, they're going to have to attack the rim. and force the officials to make a call.
In the hands of Davis with the shot clock below 10. Off the crossover. Davis, the runner, yes!
She's attacking the rim. I mean, they're going to go into the official calls a foul. And Nebraska needs to do that same thing.
Lisa Bluter talked about that at shoot-around today with her guards. When you get the ball, whether around the ball screen or a handoff from the post player, attack it. Violence of action.
She called it violence of action. I had never heard that. And it sounded a little harsh, but I get what she's saying. You gotta get in there almost violently, because if you don't, the officials are not going to bail you out.
Foul in the post. Well, how about this crossover from Tania Davis? It's a BTN standout presented by Auto Owners Insurance.
Well, she's just probing here again and setting her player up, kind of getting the feet tangled up a little bit, getting her backed up, and then she does her little floater right off the rim. That's a smart play. And she's a senior. She's done this before. She knows how to create her own shot off the dribble. So she's not just a three-point shooter.
Gustafson back in. They were looking for the high-low. There it goes for Doyle with a 2 after what had been a slow start, 1 of 7 before that.
Absolutely, but she knows how to get the ball to her, Gustafson, some of her other playmakers first, and then she'll get hers. She's not worried about that. And that's what makes her a very good point guard.
Her deep drives off the pick and pop. No. Battles for her own miss, and the held ball keeps it with Nebraska. Hey, tomorrow on BTN, Tyler Cook and the Hawkeyes hit the road to take on Ohio State. It's Big Ten men's basketball presented by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. 7 Eastern tomorrow, BTN in the Fox Sports Center. Nebraska can hold for the final shot of this second quarter in a 9-point game.
I want to see them getting something toward the rim.
Ivy's their best at doing that. She works on Doyle, who adjusts the shot, and she'll get the Hawkeyes another look at this with 6 seconds left.
I thought maybe she drew a little foul right there with the body, but Tiffany Bird didn't think so.
And Lisa Bluter is valuing every possession. She's got Stewart back in as we have another look.
See, I thought Doyle's hands kind of extended over. They weren't straight up, but it wasn't enough to call the foul.
Meyer ahead to Gustafson on the step through, off the mark. Well, Megan Gustafson, as Bobby said, already has a double-double. 17 points, 10 rebounds, and a big second quarter for the Hawkeyes. Has Iowa up by 9 on the road in Lincoln. 35-26, the Iowa lead. After the break, it's Mike Hall and Shelly Tildo break down the first half. Get you the highlights from around the Big Ten. The halftime entertainment at Pinnacle Bank Arena as we get set for the third quarter with number 12, Iowa up by 9 on Nebraska. We welcome you back to Lincoln. It took us about an hour to get ready today. No quick change for us. Bobby Kelsey,
no quick change.
Mike Monaco, and Bobby, if you're Nebraska, you've got no points from your top 2 scorers. Kate Kane was in foul trouble, and it's a single-digit game. Absolutely.
Hannah Whitish is 0 for 6, and Brown is 0 for 3, so they combined 0 for. They need to get going. I'm sure that Coach Williams has addressed that with her scoring leaders, and they're going to get going in the second half. I'm confident that they will.
Megan Gustafson always gets going. She's already got a double-double. She got going as that second quarter wore along, and she's been great. Absolutely. I mean, she's on that left block going over that right shoulder with her left hand, getting deep in the paint. And when you allow her to get to her sweet spot, she's going to score, whether that be with 3 people on her, 2 people on her, 1 on her. And she's doing some other things as well to get her shot going, looking for high post drives, high post shots, deep paint touches. And Coach Bluter has employed her guards to get the ball to Megan Gustafson. She's got part of the production for Iowa, 48% from the floor. A lot of those points for the Hawkeyes have come in the paint, and then 20 of 26 points for Nebraska have come from players off the bench. Absolutely, and Coach Williams has to be pleased with her bench because you need the depth of scoring going into these last couple of games in the tournament, but you absolutely have to have your starters
get off to a better start than what Whitish and Brown has done when they depend on them to put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, and it wasn't a great start in the first quarter for Iowa. A lot of turnovers, lower assist totals, and a 4-point deficit after the first 10 minutes, but a much stronger second quarter.
Absolutely. They settled down.
A traveling call on Hannah Stewart, who had one in the first half.
Yeah, happy feet right there. But she did get deep post position right there as well. She's a nice compliment to what Megan does on the deep block. She can get out and do some of that, deflecting and high post passing, some shots from the high post area. Because when you have two posts and all they can do is really score right by the basket, it limits you in what you can do offensively.
Whitish still not able to get in rhythm, but another offensive rebound for Nebraska. That's 10 of them. That's a Whitish three.
Wide open right there, and she was due. She was due.
Blocking foul call.
Nebraska foul number 3, Hannah Whitish. First team down the floor.
And this is a sign of a good scoring leader. When you miss one shot, you don't hang your head. You come right back into play. She was the safety getting back. She realized they got the offensive rebound, got right back in there, got her feet up under, knocked the shot down.
She's third all-time in Nebraska program history in made three-pointers. Gustafson called for extra steps.
I thought it was going to call a double dribble. She makes an occasional mistake. She's
we'll
not
allow
perfect.
her that.
I mean, we're going to allow that. She has excellent footwork. She doesn't travel very often.
So now a 6-point game, and Nebraska trying to get the offense set up. Kate Kane was looking for everyone to get in a flow. Brown had the back tap and then an awkward fall.
Yeah, that didn't look... Looked like she slipped but tripped and lost her footing right there. That could have been bad, but I'm glad she hopped up right there.
Well, and you mentioned Leah Brown, Hannah Whitish, how they were quiet in the first half. Leah Brown had 20 points in the first meeting between these two teams, and she did that in less than 20 minutes on the floor.
And she's been hot of late from the three-point line. She just can't find her shot, and they're credit Iowa's defense. They're not allowing her to get deep.
Nice pick and roll at the end of the shot clock.
Do a little bit more of that. Get the ball in Kate Kane's hands.
Traveling on Meyer.
They want to inbound that ball on a make or a miss. You know, obviously on a make, inbounding it so quickly that they catch you off guard. But that time, they caught him with the travel.
A 5-0 start to the third quarter for Nebraska thanks to 3 Iowa traveling calls. Eliley got it back. Good box out by Stewart.
Yeah, Eliley, you hope she just knocks that down because that's a wide open pull-up jumper. And they need someone to get going.
Davis shovels it off. Stewart.
Sweet dime right there. That was sweet.
How fun to watch is Tania Davis.
She's fun. She's fun. We talked to her at shoot around too, and she wants to be a coach. And you can see with her skill set, which bodes well for her being a coach, as Kane scores right there. But she's a fun kid. She has faith tattooed on the inside of her left hand, on the inside of her wrist there. And, nice play by Stewart. Nice pass, Doyle. But she says she had to have a lot of faith to get through those injuries, those ACLs that didn't allow her to play for almost 2 seasons full. And for her to start every game this year, the floor leader, do everything player, coach on the floor, you can't do anything but praise that kid for her perseverance and toughness.
Stewart follows her own miss.
She said she wanted to be a head coach right away. I said, now, whoa, Nelly. Nelly, whoa.
Doyle's floater is short, and Nebraska pushes.
That first year is different from that second one, believe me.
Foul goes on Iowa. Well, you also know what it's like to tear a couple of ligaments in your knees.
Oh, that is no fun. I did both of mine, and she did both. Sometimes you do it on the same knee. Sometimes you do it on each knee. You hope you don't do it at all. It's a hard injury to get through, mentally, psychologically, but when you're an athlete, you're competitive, you're not going to let an ACL stop you from coming back on that court. And to Davis' credit, she worked really hard. She's still wearing the knee brace, But sometimes that's just a comfort. You get in traffic and you're kind of like, I'll wear it. Quick story, I was playing pickup at Stanford when I was in school, and I thought I needed it to play, and I left it at home. And I said, either I'm going to go home and get that brace, or I'm going to play. And I played, and I didn't put it back on after that. So it is a comfort to have it, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
Kathleen Doyle just had to check out because she picked up the last 2 of her current 3 fouls in a span of 8 seconds. And Heidi goes right into attack mode on her replacement, Lexi Civilian.
She's doing what I wish Whitish and Brown would do, and that's 1 or 2 dribbles, change direction, get her defender going in the opposite direction and then coming back. And she's doing a nice job of finishing with her left hand, even though she's right-handed. So kids, just use both hands. You have 2 for a reason.
Ivy's the top scorer for Nebraska. She's up to a dozen, and it's a 3-point game just over 3 minutes into the third. Turnover. Civilian threw it away.
If they can string together some stops, that'll keep Iowa in check a little bit on their toes.
So Lisa Luter wastes no time. Civilian commits a foul, turns it over, and Amanda Ollinger comes in for a bigger Iowa lineup.
But I like the fact that she ran out. She knew what she did. No pouting, no moping. Come back, regroup, get back in there and help us.
Ivy. Couldn't tie it up. Stewart the rebound.
Good look for Heidi right there. That's a nice look for her.
Stewart in the high post on the jump shot. Simon on the up fake. Gustafson clears it.
The iron is being a little unkind in Nebraska right now. They are getting to the rim, so that's a good thing.
Post entry for Gustafson, swallowed up. A held ball gives it back to Nebraska.
And that's what I mentioned earlier. When you have Megan Gustafson on that left block, you either have to be there on the catch, on the turn, on the dribble, on the touch. You have to mix it up because she gets in a rhythm of turning and being able to get that shot off. And if you're not there, she's going to score.
I'll tell you what, we watched Nebraska at shoot-around today and how they wanted to defend Megan Gustafson. And when the ball's on the wing, they want the post defender as Whitish buries a 3. They want the post defender on the low side like Verbeek was.
Absolutely, because that keeps at least a defender in between her and the basket. And then you're counting on those other players to come in. Now, that's what they don't want, the ball coming high and in, because then the help is not there. At least if you got it on a wing, the ball, you can get those defenders coming in the double.
Fouls on for Beek as we look back at Whitish, her second 3 tonight.
And that was a more contested one, but, you know, maybe she's finding her rhythm right here. And they need her to score more throughout this game because you don't want to get down to the point where she's hesitant or not taking the shots that she normally takes.
It was the second foul on Ashton Verbeek, and it came on the floor. Gustafson on the rip and drive.
Again, you cannot let her go left. Now she gave him a gift right there. She missed it. But I wouldn't let her take the high post shot, but I would dare her to take that shot and prove that she can make it back to back to back. And then if she does, then you come up. But you can't run up on her and then give her that left.
Kissinger a deep 3. Verbeek sagged off this time. Stewart spins and scores. So you try to take away Gustafson, and Stewart's got 2.
But you see how timely that step up was? She didn't step up too early or too late. It's like Goldilocks, you know, if the court is too hot, too cold, it's just right. And you have to do that if you're going to score against some of the post players in the league because they're big and strong. So you have to time everything up.
Davis pulls it out. Stewart is a good passing post player, but it's an Iowa turnover. It's a good start to this third quarter for Nebraska, and Iowa's leads down to 4. It's another another women's basketball doubleheader. First, it's Rutgers hosting Minnesota, followed by Ohio State and Wisconsin. Coverage begins Thursday, 6:30 Eastern on BTN and the Fox Sports app. Rutgers won today. Wisconsin lost today. So these are the up-to-the-minute standings. Of course, Maryland, we told you, clinched at least a share of the Big Ten regular season title with a close win at Purdue, despite the heroics from Kayana Traylor. And if you're in the top four, you get a double bye. The bottom four, you play on day one.
You definitely don't want to be in that bottom four if you can help it. But the middle is so jammed. Anything could happen with these last couple of games. So it's very important that you finish strong and you get a W. You have to in order to at least save yourself maybe one day of playing. So Nebraska has their hands full with trying to get that better seating and better standing.
First points for Leah Brown, and it comes more than 6 minutes into the third quarter.
Unheard of, because she has been hot as of late. And for her to get her first points this far into the game, she's got to get it going.
Blocking foul on Nicaea Elijah. That's the third this quarter on Nebraska.
But the good news is they still only down by 2 points. So if she gets going and Whitish can make some more shots, if they can keep it close, they're right there.
And Doyle still sidelined. She has picked up a couple fouls this quarter.
Well, they know how important she is for their team. So if they can hold down the fort until she can get some more time and not pick up crucial fouls, they'll keep her on the bench.
Fouls on Leah Brown, her first. Whitish deflects the inbounds pass.
That was smart not to try to be too aggressive and pick up another foul. Sometimes you just got to back it out.
Meyer out of the corner. Around and out. Brown one-arms the rebound.
They look a little disjointed right now.
Whitish can be the one to settle them down. Shot clock at 10.
Turn the corner. There you go.
She attacks and missed it. Picked off by the long arms of O'Reilly. Wow.
The long arms of the law. I just wanted to turn. I want them all to turn the corner.
Simon does, and a foul.
So if you have to be aggressive, whether it be in transition, not letting them run the sideline break, and then attack. I know Coach Williams is begging them to attack the basket, and like I said earlier, force the official to either make a call, not get the old-fashioned and one three-point play, and then try to do it more. Try to do it every possession. Because Iowa's doing it. They're turning the corner and getting the ball in the paint any way they can.
Simon couldn't give Nebraska the lead, which the Huskers haven't had since the first few seconds of the second quarter. Davis rises and hits.
She made that happen because of her penetration, kick out, relocate, get the ball scored. So even if it's not a layup, you can still cause yourself to create space and an open shot by penetrating and turning the corner and getting a piece of the paint.
Riley tried to turn the corner, but Doyle played good defense.
Yeah, Davis, she did a nice job of trying to just get that ball as close in there as she can. Now, they're not agreeing with this foul right here, but let's watch this tightrope right here, hopping on 1 foot, getting that ball at least into the paint, out, back to herself, and then she gives you the guitar three right there.
That's her patented move.
Oh, that's a good one right there, especially when you're making it.
Well, the crowd did not like the foul call on Nicaea Elijah. First second.
The crowd's letting the refs know they didn't agree with it. They have a nice crowd here tonight, too, for senior night for Madison. I'm sure they'll all stick around after the game.
Doyle splits at the line.
Now, Nebraska wants to finish this quarter on a positive note here because they don't want to let it get away from them.
It'll stay with Nebraska.
And they still have 21 seconds to get a good shot off right here.
Amy Williams' team is peaking right now as far as their season has gone. They had the home win over a ranked Michigan State team at the time. And a road win on Thursday against Joe McEwen's Northwestern Wildcats.
So they've proven they can win at home and on the road.
Strong take by Liley right at Gustafson.
Got to get more of that. That's a nice job. Iowa's going to keep attacking the paint.
They do. Gustafson.
They feel like they're not being stopped, so they keep going back to what's been working for them. And the guards, Davis, Doyle, they're doing a nice job of just getting by the defenders.
And those were the first points this quarter, Megan Gustafson.
And that just shows that she's not the only person that can score. I mean, they have other people that are very capable of putting the ball in the basket. But it's nice to have a post player at the basket. She's 70%.
Doyle. Yes! She's been 0 of 3 from beyond the arc.
She's feeling it. She's feeling it. And she has supreme confidence. I mean, she's the kind of kid that you see her clapping right there. She knows that if you leave me open and I get my feet under me, you can pretty much count that as a bucket. But she's such a good passer, too. I mean, 6 assists a game. That's pretty incredible as well.
About a 4-second difference. Game and shot clocks. Good footwork from Kate Kane.
And for her to get it on the move like that, stay under control, not charge or travel.
Davis pushes. No! Had a chance to stretch the lead to 7 instead. Nebraska, with a good start to the third quarter, has this down to 5. But Kathleen Doyle against the school she initially signed with out of high school. Doyle for 3, 5-point game. Is at home against the number 12 team in the country, and the Huskers trail the Hawkeyes by 5 as we move to the fourth quarter. Kate Kane was in foul trouble in the first half. She had 6 points in the third quarter alone.
Yeah, right here, she's keeping that ball high, not allowing Megan to get a block, not allowing the guards to get their hand on it. You see right there, Tania Davis was ready to steal it, but Kate Kane knows that, and she keeps the ball high and away from long arms of the law, and she finishes right around the basket. She's having a nice game tonight.
She's been in single digits in each of her last 4 games, and we told you the first meeting between these two teams, she was limited to 3 points before she fouled out.
Right, but tonight she has 10 points, shooting a nice percentage of the field. But you got to deal with that.
You've been saying you're going to give her that shot.
You have to pick your poison. Right. I mean, on that left block, over that right shoulder, it's automatic. So you hope. I mean, she's only hit maybe 2 of those. So, granted, you're not giving it to her, but you definitely are trying to pick the lesser of the 2 evils because, again, here she's capable of hitting that shot, and she knows it, but she knows that's one that's not really in her wheelhouse all the time.
You talked about her humility earlier. If our lip reading is accurate, I think that was a good pass that she said.
Absolutely. And you want to keep telling them good pass, so they'll keep passing it to you.
Liley deflects it with 9 left on the shot clock.
She's a smart girl. You praise your guards, you'll get the ball.
Davis drives on Ivy. No, that was high off the window. Kane's got the rebound.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a body contact as well, but they're letting them play, which I like.
Ivy drives, Davis stripped her.
She probably a little upset that she didn't get the foul call.
Doyle takes the ball. Lisa Bluter wanted a foul. Good eyes to Stewart, who can't lay it in. Stewart wrestles back for it and gets a timeout. What a play by Hannah Stewart.
Wow.
That left arm stretches out to preserve possession for Iowa. Up by 7 early on in the fourth quarter. This week, Charlie Cream says that Iowa is a number 3 seed in the latest bracketology. They have just 6 losses all season, and all 6 have come against neutral site opponents or on the road, and all 6 losses against top 60 teams in the RPI. And this is one of the best Iowa teams since the C. Vivian Stringer days. And speaking of former Iowa head coaches, that is Lark Birdsong, the very first Iowa women's head basketball coach. And Lisa Bluter had her in at shoot-around today. She was there the first 5 years in program history.
And what a great name. She started coaching Iowa in 1974. I was born in 72, and that tells you how long ago that was. But she came to shoot around, and the girls got to talk to her and kind of interact with her. And it's good for them to see that the program, what they're experiencing now is because of a Lark Birdsong that took a chance back in the day when women's basketball wasn't that popular, and built the program and got it started on a solid foundation. And she's back here supporting Lisa Bluter and the Iowa Hawkeyes.
And has stayed well connected to the program for years. Gustafson hits another of those jump shots.
Okay, now you got to get up on her now. You can't let her get another one. That's 3, I think, in this game right now. So, Kate Kane, you got to get on her.
Mershon for 3. That was much needed for Nebraska.
And what I liked about that play, the ball went into Kane. She realized, I don't have it, I'm too far out. Let me put it back out, and then Mershon was ready to take that 3-point shot and make it.
Stewart reposts. Kane comes up on Gustafson this time, and a foul. That goes on Kate Kane.
So again, that ball has to go into that post. That you saw there where Stewart collapsed in, and what she probably should have done was recognize how far out Kate Kane was and kind of maybe stay out. But again, that's why you want to throw it in, because posts usually sink in, and when you throw it back out, you hope somebody can hit a 3.
Stewart, high-low, and a foul is on the floor on Ashton Verbeek. And that's her 3rd, just moments after Kate Kane picked up her 3rd.
And Iowa realized right there, because the defender was on the low side, we're not going to force it. We're going to put it back to high, right at the top of the key, and then we're going to try to go right over the top. And no matter how you play Gustafson on that block, they find a way to get her the ball.
And they're just trying to pound it to her today because, as you mentioned earlier, Lisa Bluter said, we just got to find a way to get her some more touches because Indiana did something that Iowa hadn't really seen much of. They put 4 players in the vicinity of Gustafson and just didn't want her getting the ball in.
Right, and they used more of their guards to do that because they felt like if we bring the post, Megan's just going to dump it down.
Off the turnover, this is Whitish.
Trying to get a piece of the paint.
Verbeek, no. Gustafson, another jumper.
She must have heard me. Because now she is taking that shot and they're giving it to her. But what are you going to do?
Verbeek responds.
You might have to come up and sit on that left hand. So at least she can't drive by or go into her left.
Well, and Megan Gustafson doesn't want to talk about what comes after college just yet, but that's a shot that is going to serve her well professionally.
Absolutely, because there are some bodies in the WNBA that she's not going to be able to out-muscle. So she's going to have to expand her game and become more versatile if she wants to have a lot of success in that WNBA league.
Quick advance by Iowa. Davis gets the roll.
Again, that sideline break. You see Coach Williams is throwing her hands up like, we talked about this, ladies.
Well, she's trying to get a timeout, too. Finally granted to her as Iowa's lead is up to 12. As large as it's been for the Hawkeyes here on the road. Player of the Week honors, Big Ten honor roll. There's been talk about renaming the award after her, jokingly, of course. National Player of the Week honors in January, and then here in the month of February as well. Some mid-season teams, some finalist award recognition. She was on the Big Ten honor roll this week as well. And well, business as usual tonight, 27 points, 16 rebounds.
Absolutely. And those awards and accolades and on watch lists are well deserved. Here she is showing that not only can she score on the block, but she can also hit that mid-range shot. If you're not going to guard me up there, I'm going to just take my time and turn. And if I don't have the shot, I'm going to look for Stewart, and she's going to finish.
She can go high-low with that State Farm assist to the game.
High-low. Calendar is full. Shots are made. And it's fun to watch her play.
All right, so we sat down at shoot-around today, and these are your top 5 candidates for all the National Player of the Year awards.
And there was some honorable mentions. There were some folks that could have trumped some of these folks, but maybe 4 of them were locks, and then we had some discussion. But, I mean, those young ladies have done a lot of work to get on those lists and to get those accolades and honors and have a chance to be a National Player of the Year. What an accomplishment. Whoever gets it, what an accomplishment.
Asia Durr is incredibly talented. She and Enrique Agumbawale are explosive scorers. Sabrina Ionescu, I think, is probably considered the favorite, if there is one, for the National Player of the Year award.
Absolutely. She's getting those triple-doubles like it's nobody's business. And it's hard to get a triple-double. That's why not many people get them. But some people might have something to say about what you just said. It's like, wait a minute,
right? And we're saying that that's the opinion probably nationally prevalent more so than here in the Big Ten Conference or back home in Iowa City for Hawkeyes fans. And I think you're of the mindset that Megan Gustafson is as in that conversation as anyone.
She has to be. I mean, she's leading the country in scoring. Her rebounds a little bit down, but it's still a double-double. She has 80 double-doubles. I mean, it's just ridiculous, her numbers, her stats. And look at her team. Look what she's doing for her team. So she's definitely in that conversation. And there's some other post players that are they right there as well. Kalani Brown at Baylor. And we talked about some other folks. There's a lot of people out there.
Whitish scores to slice the deficit back down to a dozen with about 3:40 to go in this fourth quarter. No one's putting up the numbers.
No.
Megan Gustafson is, and no one has done it in the history to do what she's doing right now. 27 points, 13 rebounds, 70%. No one has ever done that in the history of the sport.
I agree with you, Mike. I think it's going to be hard to pick any of them just because you can't pick 2 or 3. You can only pick 1.
Simon off the steal, draws a blocking foul, and we'll head to the free throw line.
And again, she's got the most points at Iowa, men or women, passing Roy Marble, which his record stood for 20-some years before Allie Diskerhoff broke it, but then Gustafson turned right around and break her record. So Megan credits her work ethic, her coaches, her teammates. She's a star that is humble. You never see her hot dogging and trying to get the attention. She's always pointing them out when they make an assist to her, patting them on the back. She has some little attitude about it. I love it because she's not one of these big girls that's just big for no reason. Some kids are just big, but they're soft. Megan is tough, and she's not going to allow her group to not compete and have every chance in the game to win the game. Wish I got her at Wisconsin. Okay, we just throw that in.
You tried to.
I tried real hard.
Bobby Kelsey, Mike Monaco, our entire BTN crew with you from Lincoln. Shot clock winding down for Davis. Got a couple screens. Davis. Stewart on the baseline. Gustafson, the offensive rebound, right back up. She'll go to the strike.
When the shot goes up, whoever is closest to Megan, they can't worry about getting the rebound. They can't look for the ball. They can't do anything because she was standing behind, I believe it was Simon or Verbeek, and she still got the rebound because they're kind of looking up at the ball. You have to box her out. You have to put a body on her. It can't be any space because if she feels like you're not giving the effort, she's not going to necessarily go over your back. But if she feels like you're not getting the effort to box her out, she's going to get that ball. And a lot of times she gets to the free throw line and one the old-fashioned way or just putting the ball back up for 2 points.
Simon hits the three. game, 2.5 left.
They gotta score quick. They gotta generate some turnovers here because the clock is now becoming the enemy.
Meyer cut and a foul. They'll say on the way up.
They worked on that today too.
Nebraska foul number 24, Maddie Simon, her first personal foul.
That was a 3 for Maddie Simon at the other end. And she picked up her first foul after this 3.
It's nice to see her shoot in rhythm right there. You would hope that she would have gotten a couple more looks and knocked down some of the openings she had earlier in the game, but it's still time. It's still time. They have to generate some turnovers right here. Get to the free throw line, stop the clock. However you can stop the clock, you have to stop the clock.
Meyer recently had a stretch of 46 consecutive free throws made that dated back to last season. She didn't miss one on Thursday at Indiana.
I was going to say, were you on the game and gave
Did
her
not jinx it.
broadcast?
Don't even think about it, Bob.
Because that hurt on your watch. So I heard.
Foul called on the Hawkeyes.
No, you see it in the men's game, too. They'll say, oh, they have 30 straight free throws. Clang. Maybe don't say it till after they make the free throw. Then you mention it.
There you go. You got it down to a science already.
I tried.
Doyle checks out. She's got 4 fouls with 2:05 left. Simon, does she have another?
It looked good.
Kane battles for the offensive rebound and prompts an Iowa foul. That's the second on Stewart.
They're not in the bonus yet. They got to get there.
Megan, give me some help.
Everything has to be at the rim now. Unless you have a wide open 3, you got to make these refs call fouls.
Off the underside of the backboard, and Meyer got her hands on it from Brown.
Yeah, Brown's having a tough day today. Tough night. She just can't find the basket. She's a freshman. They have it.
Gustafson set the screen, wanted it back. Simon switches on to Davis. Davis hits the gas, scoops it up with the roll.
What a nifty shot by a 5'3" player. She understands that she might get it blocked, but if she gets it up quick enough, she can get it off and score.
Simon, a leaner, doesn't go for her, and Gustafson has a new career high with 20 rebounds.
What a luxury for Lisa Bluter to have that kind of player that you can depend on night in and night out. I don't think Megan's had bad games or low-scoring games. She might get in a little bit of foul trouble, but, I mean, consistency, model of consistency.
Olinger on the offensive boards, pulls it out. And a timeout taken by Lisa Bluter.
I think the time is running out on the Huskers here.
Hey, we remind you that coverage of the 2019 Big Ten Women's Basketball Tournament from Indianapolis starts on March 6th. That's just a week from Wednesday. You can catch all the action right here on BTN and on the Fox Sports app. So if the season ended right now, this is how the bracket would look. Maryland had the win earlier today at Mackey Arena. Iowa, if somehow they pull into a tie with Maryland, they do have the tiebreaker. Rutgers won today, and then you look at the jumble in the middle of teams that'll get going on that second day in Indianapolis.
Well, people are running out of games to try to jump someone, so they're going to have to hope that the top people lose, but I think Iowa and Maryland are out of reach for some folks, and then Rutgers might have to watch themselves and finish strong, even without Coach Stringer there. So it's interesting. It's dramatic. I like it.
It's going to be fun these next few weeks.
Fun.
A trap on Doyle. Davis finds Gustafson. She doesn't get the roll, and then a foul on the rebounding action.
And Stewart understands that if Megan does miss, what she does not a lot, that ball probably is going to come on the other side of the rim, and she's positioning herself to get that ball.
I believe that was a playful shove from Tania Davis afterwards, saying, hey, where did my assist just go?
She wants them all. She wants every assist she can get. And so they are a fun-loving group like that. They don't take themselves too seriously, but she is a competitor, and she wants, if it's supposed to have it, she wants it.
Stewart cans both with about 34 seconds left in this fourth quarter. Kane had a good offensive day today, but she misses that one. The shot clock is off, and Iowa gets back in the win column here tonight, and the Hawkeyes improve to 13-4 in the Big Ten Conference, just one game behind Maryland with a game left for both teams.
Absolutely. This is going to bode well for Iowa in their quest to get a high seed in the NCAA tournament. And congratulations to both teams.
Another day at the office for Megan Gustafson. 29 points, 20 rebounds. And she stepped out, she hit some jump shots, and she just did it all for the Hawkeyes once again.
Once again, I mean, to get not only the points, but the rebounds, because some of those are O-boards, some of those are putbacks. I mean, it's amazing what she's done. And it's a nice luxury for Lisa Bluder to have.
So let's update the standings in the Big Ten after number 12 Iowa gets its 13th Big Ten win of the season. Told you that Maryland won earlier, so the Terps are still a game ahead of the Hawkeyes. Rutgers had a win. They're 2 games back in the win column of Iowa. And again, for Iowa, they're going to be home against Northwestern on Sunday. That's a game you can watch here on BTN. That'll be Megan Gustafson, Tania Davis, Hannah Stewart, their senior day at Carver Hawkeye Arena.
And for them to go out together and just continue to roll like they are doing, it says a lot about how they came in, how they worked really hard. Because Megan did not have these stats her first year at Iowa, but she has worked her tail off to get to this point, and it says a lot about her work ethic and what she's about. And she's team first player.
Iowa had a huge second quarter after trailing by 4 at the end of the first quarter. And this was Megan Gustafson's afternoon from all over the court.
Absolutely. I mean, she's running in transition, taking that high post drive and finishing. And I love the excitement at the end where she gives the fist pump and, you know, shout out to her teammates. And then she's hitting this high post shot. I mean, again, if she adds this to her repertoire, the sky's the limit at the next level. But she has a lot of work to do